Well, I want to thank everyone for being here, and here we are again in Springfield discussing problems. Unfortunately, Governor Pritzker's been too busy campaigning in states like New Hampshire, Maine, and Florida to come here and solve the real problems that we're facing here in Illinois. Pritzker still refuses to call a special session to address significant issues like crime, inflation, taxes, and more, everything that's affecting families here in Illinois. JB is more concerned with hobnobbing with elites, handing out special favors, and scratching the backs of friends than doing what's best for Illinoisans. Pritzker refuses to take ownership of his administration's failures, and he refuses to hold his friends like Jennifer Thornley and Mark Smith accountable. The pattern of neglect and mismanagement has gone beyond a spoiled rich kid throwing a temper tantrum. His inability to solve these problems and come to work is wasting taxpayer money and is killing jobs and is costing lives. Pritzker's fatal mismanagement at the LaSalle Veterans Home cost the lives of 36 veterans. And it's no secret that the Illinois Department of Child and Family Service situation is a case of tragic incompetence. Here are some of the descriptions from recent press reports. Number 1, massive dysfunction. Number 2, another headline, it's even worse than disaster. A third headline, stinging review of the Department of Children and Family Services. And a fourth headline, DCFS neglected its responsibilities. After 3 years of one tragedy after another, our spoiled, out-of-touch trust fund billionaire governor had the audacity to say this, and I quote him, "You're ignoring all the progress that has been made by DCFS." Progress? Let's review what Governor Pritzker is calling progress. I'm going to give you some numbers. The first number is 12. DCFS Director Mark Smith has been found in contempt of court 12 times from poor treatment of children under his and Pritzker's watch. Another number, 170. The latest case involved a 15-year-old girl stuck in a psychiatric hospital for 170 days, even though that she was cleared for release. The number 2, 2 children, an 8-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl recently died after DCFS contacted their families. The number 98, DCFS failed to provide mandatory home safety checklists in 98% of its cases. Pritzker also fails to live up to the legislation that he signed, as many children aren't getting basic medical, vision, and dental exams. Children aren't receiving vaccines, or are receiving too many, or are receiving the wrong dosages because Pritzker's administration fails to keep basic records for the children under their care. And a final number, 21. 21% of DCFS positions remain vacated. I don't know what world that JB lives in, but this is not progress. This is incompetence and tragic proportions. This is devastating. This is what people in the real world call a fireable offense, period. Friends, it's clear that an out-of-touch trust fund billionaire like JB doesn't understand this. But if you have to do more than throw money at problems, you have to roll up your sleeves and do the work of ensuring that the job actually gets done. Governor Pritzker, I know you're watching, so listen carefully. I have repeatedly called for you to fire Director Mark Smith, and I will do it again and again and again until he's gone. These problems must be addressed. Friends, if Governor Pritzker can't find the time to care about Illinois' most valuable children, then that's just another reason that this man should be fired from his position. No one is forcing Governor Pritzker to do his job. If he'd rather campaign for president or spend time on his fancy yacht, then he should do that. But right now, children are dying and they're being abused because Governor Pritzker doesn't care enough or doesn't know how to do his job. Illinois is my focus. Reforming the Department of Children and Family Services will be my top priority in my administration. I am ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work and solve these problems that are affecting the children in our state. I thank you for your time, and I'll take a few questions right now.
Senator, we got time for 4 questions, and then we got to go.
Senator, yesterday, some of your close allies in the General Assembly called for Congressman Adam Kinzinger to be censured for his role in the January 6, 21 committee, House committee hearings. One of them issued a statement calling these hearings a sham without due process and a ban on any witnesses for the accused. Do you agree that these hearings are a sham, and do you think Congressman Kinzinger should be censured?
I think that question's completely inappropriate for this. I'm here to talk about children dying and the devastation that's taking place with our families and our friends, and that's what I'm focused on right here in Illinois. So I'm not addressing that.
Next question, please.
Right. Do you think that Adam Kinzinger should be censured for his role in the January 6th committee after your allies called for him to be censured?
I have dealt with Adam Kinzinger on my own. I've made my statements. I don't agree with anything that Adam Kinzinger stands for, and I've made the statement, so you have that.
Senator, how can you criticize the department if you voted against every budget that provided more funding to support DCFS?
Let's talk about that. I said on the Committee on Appropriations when DCFS asked for funding this past session, they asked for $142 million more to do their job adequately. I sat there and I waited for someone else to see what was obvious, and no one spoke up. I spoke up, and I asked Director Smith several questions. I said, if I'm reading this right, at the end of FY22, which ended July 1st, there's going to be $12 million sitting on the table unspent. And as a matter of fact, I'm seeing in your own report that FY21, when it ended, there was $28 million left on the table unspent. That is gross negligence. I asked the question where this money went. I got no reply. I asked the question why it wasn't spent. I got no reply. This administration under Mark Smith's leadership has failed not only the organization, but it's failed families and children in this state. They can't even manage the money that they have. That's a problem.
Jerry, do you have a question?
No.
Last question.
Senator, is the fact that you're distancing yourself from any comprehensive comment on the January 6th hearing, is that a way to drum up more support in the general election?
No, it's a matter for me to focus on Illinois. Illinois has real problems. I'm not running for Congress. I'm running for the governor of the great state of Illinois, and I'm running to represent everyone in this state, and I am laser focused on the problems that we have here in Illinois, so that we can keep business and families here and protect the businesses and families that are here. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. That's it.
Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. And while you're at it, please leave us a comment. Thank you for watching.